Thank you for tuning in to FRIDEAS for another week, another episode, another topic. I'm Exposed Toxic. I'm here with Sha Rez, and today the topic of discussion is I know that we talked about 2016 to 2023, current time. But I need to know what is your GOAT album of, you know, period. Any genre, any artist, any decade, any era, what is your GOAT album?
All right, man, I'm stuck between two of them. No, three of them. My fault. I'm stuck between three of them, all around the same era. Jay-Z Blueprint 3, Eminem Recovery, and Lil Wayne Carter 4. And those were all around the same time frame, about middle school going into high school. Those are all my all-time favorite. Right?
Can you explain to me why that is your top three?
The reason being for Eminem Recovery, I was already an Eminem fan just by listening to Eminem since a young child. Him being, parents and family, everybody listened to him. So then when that album came out, I was in middle school, going through a time where I was purposely choosing to listen to my own music at that time, not just who was on the radio or what my parents were listening to. And I was really familiar with him, so that easily became one of my favorites. And then also I was like envisioning myself rapping those lyrics, and like I was related to it, just like most people. Like you're in the mirror rapping the lyrics, or you're on the school bus rapping the lyrics, and you're like, yo, this is, you get that energy, you feel like you're that person. He brought that energy and still does. Jay-Z, I remember my dad had gave me the CD for Blueprint 3, and I was playing Call of Duty heavy at that time, and that was like my soundtrack to War at War. Call of Duty War at War was Blueprint 3 was my soundtrack to that game, and that shit would just flowed beautifully. And then Carter 4 with Lil Wayne, I became a huge Lil Wayne fan starting around that time where I started listening to my own music, and I picked up mixtapes from Lil Wayne. Or I had a CD was Dedication 4, and then like Carter 4 I think came out a little bit after, and Sorry for the Wait as well. And Carter 4 came out a little bit after, and then I remember the time where I was at, like who I was associated with and everything, and like Carter 4 just like was my soundtrack, my life at that time around I think like my freshman year of high school for real.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Going a little bit into my Go album of all time, there's a lot that come to my mind, but there's one that stands out the most, and for that, it is Drake. Take Care. Solely on the fact that where I was in life, that album just always takes me back to that moment in life, if that makes sense. Um, I just remember playing, video games around that time. The game that was popping was Black Ops 1, um, which we talked about our Call of Duty experiences and went down that nostalgic packs in the last episode. So, yeah, I just remember playing that Call of Duty with my friends, and I was just singing on the mic all the time. And that's really the album that made me fall in love with music and, creating music and wanting to be who I am today. So, yeah, Drake, Take Care.
At the time, I assume that you were already familiar with Drake because he already had music before that. Now, at that time, when you were living with Take Care for those few months or a year after that, did it set in with you? And did Drake, after like a year of living with Take Care, right for you, did Drake become your favorite artist at that time? Or if he didn't, if he wasn't already your favorite artist, who was your favorite artist at that time? How did that work? Like as a fan, like how did you like, you know what I mean, in your head, like, oh shit, like this is a new favorite artist of mine, or da da da.
So leading up to Take Care releasing, my favorite artist was Eminem and Lil Wayne. They were kind of, on equal playing fields for me. And then I got introduced to Drake in 2008, end of 2008 or early 2009, when Best I Ever Had popped up on MTV's, the morning, how they used to play the morning music videos. I remember I woke up at like 2 in the morning one time and I just saw that video and I thought it was interesting. I thought it was cool. And I later on in life, because I was around maybe 9 or 10 at that time, maybe even 11. And I found out what the song was called, and I would just search it up on YouTube every day. And then they came out with hits of under Young Money, as far as Bedrock and other songs such as Every Girl in the World or whatever that title was. Under Young Money, they dropped their album. So I was introduced to Drake and Nicki Minaj, just like the rest of the world. Around that time, Drake wasn't who he is today as an artist. He was more looked at as like a female artist and more of like the singing R&B rap type. He was kind of taking the sound of R&B and shifting it into rap, and he was doing it more successfully than any artist that was trying it in the past at that time. So I don't know what it was that made me attracted to his music or his voice, but something about it, I just liked his message. It made me feel like I could really relate to it on my young mind and whatnot. And still to this day, like at least once a month, Secret About Exposed Toxic. I listen to Take Care at least once a month, full and full. Like I literally just did it a couple days ago, where I just dedicated a whole day to Take Care, and I just bumped the whole thing. I know every album word for word. I literally would put my life on it. I would put $1 million on it, and I would not fumble the bag.
I love doing that with Time is of the Essence. Go back, listen to it real often. Now, underground, people who maybe like the world don't, all like not the whole world know about. Favorite album from an underground artist.
That's a great question because I don't remember what it's called. The North Ave Jacks. North Ave Jacks. I don't remember what the album's called. It's his debut project. Amazing. If you have not heard it, go check out North Ave Jacks. He's just an 18-year-old. He might be 19 now. From Vermont, small town he's from. I never spoke to him personally. I have, spoke here and there with him on social media through comments and whatnot. But yeah, super dope artist. He works a lot with Jetson Made, and he's definitely going to shake the industry as he grows bigger. So be on the lookout for North Ave Jacks.
North Ave Jax. Yo, one of my favorite underground artists, I would say in recent time, like very recent time, is CEO Trail. He's one of my favorites for sure. I believe he was born in New York but moved to Chicago or Atlanta. Yo, I don't know. He's something about New York, Chicago, and Atlanta's all involved. I guess he had moved to Atlanta. I forget how it all started. My fault. Anyway, CEO Trail, though, my favorite underground artist as in really recent time. It is young Sha Rez. I'm closing out here with Exposed Toxic. This is another episode of Friday's Ideas, and be back for another one next week. We out.